Afternoon on a case many of you have reached out to us about. Today we are learning that a Nickerson teacher faces multiple charges. Dylan Domang in the newsroom with what we've learned. Dylan?
Yeah, Mike, so it's a story we began looking into after some of you had reached out to us. The Sedgwick County District Attorney's Office now confirms that Nickerson school employee Whitney Shull faces 5 counts in all. They include unlawful sexual relations by a school employee, attempted unlawful sexual relations by a school employee, aggravated sexual battery of a person 16 or older, and 2 counts of unlawfully hosting where alcohol was served to minors. Now, the events in 4 of the counts happened between January 31st and February 1st in Reno County. One of the unlawful hosting counts happened on or about March 15th. Reno County asked for assistance from Sedgwick County to investigate what happened here. Reno County booking sheets show that Shull was booked this morning and then released. The Nickerson School District tells us that Shull was a part-time employee as a substitute teacher and her work ended in April. Mike?
Thanks, Dylan. It was